Welcome back to my channel Knowledge Chronicle.
Have you ever wondered why you don't fall sick every single day, despite being exposed to countless bacteria, viruses, and fungi all around you? The answer lies in one of the most fascinating and powerful systems in your body, your immune system. It works silently, constantly fighting off invaders and keeping you safe, even while you sleep. But how does it do that? What are these barriers, cells, and memory responses that shield us from illness? And why do some people suffer from allergies, autoimmune diseases, or even organ rejection after transplant? In today's episode of Knowledge Chronicle, we're going deep into the world of immunity, explained like never before, in simple, engaging language, full of real-life examples. What is immunity? Immunity is your body's ability to fight off disease-causing organisms like bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites. Even though we are surrounded by thousands of microbes every day, only a few manage to make us sick. Why? Because our immune system acts like an army, defending us every second. So the word immunity means protection, your body's natural or developed defense system that fights invaders. And this immunity comes in, two main forms. First, there's innate immunity, that's the one you're born with. And then there's acquired immunity, the one you develop over time. Let's dive into each of them. So let's start with innate immunity. Innate immunity is actually your body's first line of defense. It's non-specific, which means it doesn't target any particular pathogen. It just tries to block, pretty much everything harmful. There are 4 major barriers in innate immunity. First, physical barriers. Your skin acts like a wall. No germs can pass easily. The mucus in your nose, lungs, and gut traps bacteria like a sticky net. Next, physiological barriers. Acid in your stomach kills bacteria in food, and saliva in your mouth and tears in your eyes contain enzymes that break down microbes. Then, there are cellular barriers. Your white blood cells, like neutrophils, monocytes, macrophages, and natural killer cells, actively destroy pathogens. Just imagine tiny soldiers eating up bacteria. Finally, cytokine barriers. When a virus attacks a cell, that cell releases interferons. These are chemical messengers that warn neighboring cells and prepare them for defense. All of these work together 24/7, especially when you first come in contact with a pathogen. Now comes the acquired immunity, your body's smart system that learns and remembers. This is pathogen-specific and it has memory. The first time you're exposed to a new microbe, your body gives a primary response, slow and weak. But the second time, it gives a secondary response, which is, faster and stronger because your body remembers. This is where 2 special types of lymphocytes come in. First, B lymphocytes. They produce antibodies, proteins that attach to the pathogen and destroy it. Each antibody has 2 light chains and 2 heavy chains, shaped like a Y. Antibodies are of different types, IgA, IgM, IgE, IgG, and so on. This is called the humoral immune response because it happens in body fluids, the humors. T lymphocytes. They don't produce antibodies directly but help B cells and also attack infected or cancerous cells. This is called the cell-mediated immune response. Organ transplants and rejection. Have you ever wondered why organ transplants are so difficult? Why can't we just take an organ from anyone? Well, it's because your immune system can recognize what belongs to your body, which is called self, and what doesn't, which is called non-self. So, if a new organ isn't a perfect match, your T cells will attack it. This is called graft rejection. That's why doctors check blood type and tissue compatibility before a transplant. Even then, the patient needs to take immunosuppressants, which are drugs that lower the immune response for life. There are 2 ways your body gains immunity. First, there's active immunity. That's when your own body makes antibodies when it encounters pathogens, either naturally or through vaccines. For example, after recovering from chickenpox, your body won't get it again. That's active immunity. The second way is called passive immunity. This is when you receive ready-made antibodies. For example, a newborn baby gets IgA antibodies from the mother's colostrum, which is early breast milk. Another example is in snake bites, where doctors give antivenom, which contains antibodies to neutralize the poison. That's passive immunity. Vaccination and immunization. These are terms we hear a lot. Vaccination works on the memory principle of acquired immunity. When a person is vaccinated, a weakened or inactivated microbe, or just a part of it, is introduced into the body. The immune system responds, creates antibodies, and stores the memory. So the next time the real pathogen enters, the body responds quickly. Vaccines for tetanus, measles, hepatitis B, polio, and COVID-19 all work this way. Thanks to recombinant DNA technology, we can now produce vaccines in bacteria or yeast. For example, the hepatitis B vaccine is made in yeast. Allergies. Now let's talk about something many of us suffer from. Have you ever started sneezing or wheezing after entering a dusty room or maybe a garden? That's because of allergens like pollen, dust mites, or animal dander. An allergy is basically an exaggerated immune response to harmless substances. The antibodies involved here are of the IgE type. When allergens enter, they trigger the release of chemicals like histamine and serotonin from mast cells, which leads to sneezing, itching, and breathlessness. To find out the cause, doctors use allergy tests, injecting small doses of suspected allergens. Treatment includes antihistamines, steroids, and adrenaline in severe cases. Modern life has actually made us more prone to allergies, especially children in urban areas with limited exposure to natural microbes. Sometimes the immune system actually mistakes your own body cells as foreign and attacks them. This is called autoimmunity. It's kinda like friendly fire in an army, you know? One common autoimmune disease is rheumatoid arthritis, where the immune system attacks the joints. Others include type 1 diabetes, multiple sclerosis, and lupus. The causes are still being studied, but genetic factors and environmental triggers definitely play a role. So, your immune system is made up of organs, cells, and molecules. Let's talk about the primary lymphoid organs. First, there's the bone marrow, which is where all blood cells are born, including B lymphocytes. And then there's the thymus, where T lymphocytes mature. It's actually pretty large in children, but it shrinks with age. Secondary lymphoid organs play a crucial role in our immunity. The spleen, for example, filters blood and stores lymphocytes, which are key defenders in our body. Lymph nodes, on the other hand, trap microbes present in the lymph and activate lymphocytes to fight off infections. Tonsils, appendix, and Peyer's patches in the small intestine all work together to guard against pathogens that might enter through food and air. MALT, or mucosa-associated lymphoid tissue, is found along your respiratory, digestive, and urogenital tracts. These are basically the main entry points where most pathogens try to sneak in. When you think about it, together, these components keep you protected against a wide variety of infections. So the next time you recover from a fever, escape a stomach bug, or don't get sick even when your friend does, just take a moment to thank your immune system. From innate barriers to antibodies, from vaccines to memory cells, and from organ transplant rejection to autoimmune diseases. It's honestly a complex and beautiful system that keeps you alive. Your immune system is the silent guardian of your health. And now you know how it works. If you found this video helpful, do share it with your friends and family. Let's spread the knowledge, not the disease. And remember, your one like, share, and subscribe will help us create more valuable content here on Knowledge Chronicle.